Welcome to my live coaching. Just a forewarning, last week, a few days ago, we had the big hurricane came through here, whoop-de-doo, but it did screw up the Wi-Fi and everything. I was having trouble uploading and a few other things, but back to uploading, back to doing the live this week. At the moment, the weather's still really bad, and it is affecting my Wi-Fi, so if this is choppy at all, again, I apologize, guys. Nothing I can really do about it at the moment. But anyways, I hope you guys all, if you're around, you had a good survival rate for the hurricane. Nothing got too damaged. You're all good. If you're somewhere else, well, I hope you're just having a good week and a good weekend, and don't worry about the hurricane. It didn't affect you. I hope everyone is doing good. And as I've already mentioned, and I'll keep mentioning for a little while probably, unfortunately, until I go over, I think it's 1,000 subscribers, I will not be able to put this live to more than like 20 or 50 people. And I think those are just the people who most regularly get on at this time, if I'm not mistaken. So if there's a lag in questions or anything as well, the lag in questions is just, you might have put the questions in, but just understand sometimes it takes me a minute, maybe 3 minutes to actually get the question on my side. Again, my Wi-Fi is not the best right now. So apologies for any lags in questions, guys, but I will get to them as soon as I see them. And I'll check regularly and stuff. That being said, updates. So update number one, I'll be releasing a podcast today with Coach Ed McGregor, and we talked all about posing. So we talked about posing, how to pose at home, how biomechanics relates to posing. We shared some stories. Just this moment, I believe it should be done uploading. I just uploaded a video. It's just me reading the first page of my new book, and it's basically an explanation for the hierarchy of diets and how the book is laid out, in case you guys are curious. This will be my 5th book. So if you guys are curious about any of my other books or the material for those, just check out my Etsy store. As you guys all know, the link is in the description and stuff. What else is going on? I got 3 fun podcasts coming up this week. I have Travis coming back, I have Oz coming back, and I have Bill coming back. I have a deadline for the book. I'm going to try to have the book done within the next 3 months, by the way. This book, as previously stated, it's about the hierarchy of diets, my 10-step plan to get you to the perfectly, again, I hate to even call it a diet, but the perfect lifestyle where your microbiome is nurtured, where you're getting all the nutrients you need to perform at a high level, where you're getting all of the micronutrients, the macronutrients, the proteins, the amino acids, all of these things, everything you need to be happy, healthy, efficient, strong willpower, good brain energy, all these things. It's a very misunderstood field. People really overcomplicate it. It's really not complicated in my opinion. So I've taken all the science and I've simplified it down basically to a 10-step program. I'll be talking about it more on the channel, as you dig into the stuff to write the book and stuff, I'll be wanting to chat about it anyway, so there'll be a lot of videos about diets coming up. Again, I don't want to use that word diet, but things relating to digesting, processing, absorbing food and energy, let's put it that way. Healthier lifestyle choices, not really diets. I don't like diets, I don't even like the word diet very much. But anyways, moving forward, we got any questions yet? So on my side, it shows no questions. Apologies if you put one in, guys. Just give it a sec. But anyways, I just saw one pop up here. So, good morning, Coach. Can you tell me how to run my programs while playing sports on the off days? So I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and play tennis or other sports for several hours on off days. Now, if I remember correctly, you should be doing, correct me if I'm wrong here, Zazen forever, but you should be doing the biomechanically correct exercises, an arm day, a core day, and a leg day, and then a day off, and rotating that. That should be your frequency. I hope it's something similar to that. Your reps and sets should be something within 2 to 3 reps of failure when you're doing your workouts. And your set should be 3, maybe 4 or 5, even up to 6 if you're an extremely advanced trainee or you are an enhanced trainee. In regards to playing sports, tennis, in that regard, I would say don't change anything about your workouts except when you're doing heavier lifts which require a large use of your grip, something like a 30-30 lat pull, for example. Use a strap so that your grip doesn't get worn out because it will affect your tennis game. Other than that, I would actually say just exercise as is. And now just correct me if I missed anything there or I misunderstood something, please. Greetings, Coach. Hey, Musan Mosan Basam. Hi, bud. Jay Holowaka. I remember you. Hi, Coach Castle. Two things. One about step-ups for glutes. Should it be one leg, let's say 20 times, then other leg, or can it be one time left, one time right? Also, how high should the stepper be? Great question. So here's my thoughts on the matter. When you're doing step-ups, I like to, well, for most people, unless you're very strong and you have a very good sense of balance, I want you to be holding on to something, a strap from a pull-up bar, a wall, a railing, a pole, something like that. You should be holding with your arms, keeping your arms kind of loose ropes. This actually keeps you inside the correct resistance curve, and it keeps you more stable. I say do one leg fully before switching to the other leg. So one leg fully, what that means is in regards to how high to step, you're going to want to have your upper leg bone, literally, or your knees, however you want to think about it, you want to have it above parallel. So you want to be actually starting the step up with your knee as high as you're able to take it without moving your pelvis. Then what you're going to do is you're going to, again, hold on to something with your arms as nice loose ropes, and you're then just going to drive upwards with a lot of pressure, keeping your arms tense though, like with tension. Don't loosen your arms. Make sure you're still leaning backwards as it was. The further back you lean, the more you're engaging your glutes. Forward you lean, the more you're engaging your quadriceps. When it's time to come down, you literally go completely 4 to 5 seconds, allow your body to slowly drop into position. And it's the same thing when you're starting. When you're starting the movement, try really hard not to bounce or assist yourself in any way. Just try to keep it a strict pull the glute. Like literally just think about pulling your upper leg back and bringing your pelvis forward. Don't try to jump or bounce or anything else. That's the best way to do it. Do it one leg at a time, because that way you can get in a good rhythm and stay stable. If you keep switching back and forth, it's going to take more time. It'll be less stable and probably produce less efficient results anyways. You want to be stopping, same thing with your glutes, 2 to 3 reps short of failure. What that means for most of you is just it's extremely hard and you don't know if you can keep going. That's probably a good place to call it quits. But I do mean you don't know if you can keep going. Like you think maybe I'll go do one and I'll fall. That's probably a good place for most of you. Just make sure again with the arms, just again, keep them loose, lean back as much as you can, don't lean forward. I hope that answers the question. Just let me know if I missed something in the chat. Let's see here. I have a question. If the tibia angle during squats is more, if the tibia angle during squats is more important than the distance between the joint and the line of force, then why we reach failure from the quads and not the glutes? Let me read that again. I'm not sure exactly what that question means. The thing when you're squatting, it's a compound movement, and the first thing that actually gets worn out is your erector spinae. It's actually your back. Your back is the first muscle to go during squats. That's why people will be leaning forward and buckling under their weight. That's because their posterior chain muscle runs down the spine from the neck to the pelvis. That's the first thing that gives out, and that's because that's actually the most loaded. This is because it's the longest lever with the force being applied to it, depending how you're doing the squat. But also your glutes, they don't really participate in the squat that much, not till about the 30% conclusion of the range of motion, and even then they don't even participate in a really good way, let's just put it that way, not very effectively. Squats target your quads and your erector spinae the most, but again, this all depends on foot, leg position, back position, where the weight is loaded, etc. But in general, why bother? I don't squat. I see no point whatsoever in doing any form of barbell squat, machine squat, hack squat, leg press. These are all extremely inefficient, damaging, foolish, stupid movements, in my opinion. The only squats which are good are pendulum squats, as you already know, sissy squats, either mechanically assisted or with body weight, provided it's done correctly. Leg extensions. I mean, there's a few variations for your quads, but again, you don't ever really want to be doing a compound movement. And even, again, you can't even actually achieve failure with a compound movement. It's impossible to achieve failure with a squat. I mean, you can stop squatting, but none of your muscles actually failed. And that's because you're using all of them inefficiently instead of one of them maximally. That's why I don't like compound movements. They're for uneducated people who think they have to do them or who are purely ego-driven and know better. But yeah, there's no real benefit to those. Let's see here. I hope that answered the question, by the way. I wasn't really sure what you were getting at. I hope I answered it. Just let me know in the comments, you know. Other question concerned when doing tricep exercises, my elbow hurts on the decline bench. The weight is too heavy for you, dear, or you're not adequately recovering more than likely. I would presume if you're doing the tricep extensions on a decline bench, your arm is lined up mostly parallel with your torso and you are doing them correctly. There's a lot of reasons why your tendons, this is your tendon by the way, which hurts, why your tendon could hurt. I don't think it's angle placement because it sounds like you're doing it right. You could be doing it too fast. If you're doing it rapidly, you will keep it simple. If you're doing it more rapidly, you'll do more damage. You'll be straining your tendon more. If the weight is too heavy, the weight will strain the tendon and the muscle, but the muscle will actually be recovering a lot faster than the tendon. So you might not be taking enough recovery time, you might be using too heavy of a weight. So what I would recommend is a couple things. Either A, switch over to doing cables. It's good to do it a different way anyways. So switch over to doing standing cables and use a light load for like a week or two. Reason being because you're doing cables, it's a new movement you should be practicing anyways. And with the cables and a lighter load, it'll give your tendon time to recover. You might even prefer doing it with cables because you'll either be standing or sitting, so no blood rushing to your head. It's not uncomfortable. You can actually focus on your tricep more. If for some reason you feel the need to keep using dumbbells, keep using dumbbells, but lower the weight dramatically so you're doing more like 20 or 30 reps. And just make sure that when you're doing these exercises, guys, I'll just make the point real quick. The eccentric, or the lengthening of the muscle, is where most of the damage actually occurs. And most of you completely ignore this portion of the movement. When you're doing exercise, and it's intelligent, correct exercise, attempting to build muscles and make a stronger body, you want the concentric, or the raising of the weight, to be very fast, and then the lengthening of the muscle, or the lowering of the weight, to be very slow. This is because a lot more damage occurs during the eccentric portion. When you kind of rapidly rail through those, you will damage your tendons, but you won't really damage your muscles as much. You'll also burn out your glucose faster without doing as much damage to the muscles. So it's not as productive. I hope I answered that question, dear. My thoughts on fat grips? Don't use them. I don't see any reason to use them. They don't actually really improve your grip that much anyways. They improve your grip sensitivity. It's a different thing. If you're curious, just look up the difference between grip strength and grip sensitivity. My thoughts on gaining muscle in a small calorie deficit for intermediate and advanced lifters. Oh, thank you for adding that. That actually makes a difference. Okay, so for intermediate and advanced lifters, if you want to be building muscle in a calorie deficit, it's actually a little bit easier than if you're a beginner. All you're going to do, it's very simple. Make sure you have more than adequate needs for your protein. So, I don't know, say you're a 200-pound guy, so you're eating, at the moment, 220 grams of protein. Well, if you're going to go into a calorie deficit, make sure you are in a calorie deficit. I'm sure you know how to do that. But then increase your protein amount so your protein is taking up more of your calories, and drop your fat and your carbs a little bit. Make sure you have both fat and carbs, but drop your fat and your carbs a little bit to basically balance out the raising of the protein. The next most important thing, and this is the thing you're not going to like hearing, is you have to sleep a ton. You're going to really, really have to sleep a lot. This is for multiple reasons. I won't get too much into detail here, but you're going to have to sleep a lot to keep your hunger cravings at bay, number one, to keep your body building and maintaining, not breaking and tearing, and you're going to have to be exercising with very high intensity. So maybe you're going to have to drop down your workouts to just 2 sets, but it'll have to be extremely high intensity. The reason for this is if your body is being hit with intensity, all of the muscles, and you're in a calorie deficit, your body spares the muscles and it doesn't try to digest them. This is one of the things I'm literally writing about right now. But long story short, keep doing everything you're doing. Keep the intensity high in the gym. Don't change your sets, reps, or frequency. I presume you're following correct biomechanical exercises. Don't change any of that. Maybe just drop down 1 set. Introduce the slight calorie deficit. By slight calorie deficit, I'm referencing something between 100 and 500 calories. You would know if you're an intermediate or advanced lifter how much you should be doing. But just remember, less is always better. The less calories you're able to subtract from your diet, and you're willing to be patient and wait longer, it's much better because you don't really notice. The issue is people aren't patient nowadays, so they don't want to wait. But if you're dieting down for something, for a competition, for a photo shoot, or you just want to take fat off in general, I really try very hard with most of my clients to keep it about a half a pound a week, maybe a pound a week at the very most. And that's at the very most. And that's at the most, I will never go over subtracting 500 calories a day. And that's a lot. I usually don't recommend that, again, except in advanced lifters. And that's just because you have a lot of experience with this stuff typically. But I hope that answers your question. Thank you. I'm also training your way 3-1-3 legs, upper trunk, back. Could you again repeat the exercises? Should be in each. Thank you. Oh, sure. And by the way, just Jay, please send me an email or something. I'll just hook you up with like this book or something. This is my, I don't remember. This is my 4th book. And this one has everything you guys need to know. It goes over steps, reps, frequency, how to determine your weight, how to track your body composition, your measurements, how to build a home gym. It has all of the perfect flashcards in it. It has, God, there's so much shit in it. A lot of shit in there. One second. But I'm always happy to digitally email this over to anybody. If you want to support the channel, just go to my Etsy store and purchase it for $5, $10. I got a lot of stuff in my Etsy store for digital download. But for whatever reason, if you don't want to purchase it and support the channel, that's okay. I still like you. Send me an email and I'll give it to you for free. No worries. Now this one in particular has escaping the fitness industry marketing maze, establishing your starting point, progressive tracking, body weight, body measurements, breathing IQ, resting metabolic rate, cardio adaptability, current rep ranges, how to measure your body fat, grip strength, checklist for optimum exercise selections, rule 1 through 13. These are biomechanical exercises explained simply, why we do them the way we do. Advanced training techniques for advanced lifters. These are things like omni-contraction training, rest pause training, things that I don't typically talk about because really only bodybuilders need to be doing them. Then I have what you just asked about, is the muscle groups you'll be training directly. I give you a list of them along with the exercises applicable and the flashcards. Then I explain biotensegrity, or how the human body is actually made up. It's pretty interesting. Then effective fat loss, the aerobic exercise, the best ways to burn fat basically. Then nutrients and foods to help speed up muscle recovery after exercise, hydration for health and performance, salt consumption for health, hydration, and performance in athletes. Then we get into how to build your own gym for about $50. Then exercise flashcards, all the ones that you need. Then how to break down your goals, slowly, the brick by brick method. And then sleep for health and performance, and a few other things. I'll just leave it out. But all that is in 75 pages. It's available for digital download. My other books as well, my articles, my tools, all that happy shit. And always, guys, just remember, a lot of people, they hire me for coaching. They hire me for 1 month. That's all they need. 1 month of coaching. They have all of the knowledge they need. So you might be asking yourself, how much does a month of coaching with Castle cost? Well, if you're an online client, a full month of coaching from me is $500. That's everything you could possibly need, every tool you could possibly need given to you, every question you have answered for you, your plan laid out for you, written down for you, explained to you via video call for hours and hours and hours, however long it takes, and it's about $500 a month. And again, it's 1 month. Because I'm not a personal trainer. I'm the guy that trains the personal trainers. I'm not a respiratory coach. I'm the guy that trains them. You learn everything, guys, everything. And my whole thing is, knowledge is power. I apologize if this is sounding like a sales pitch, but I mean, it's very frustrating to me when people will just turn down, I mean, it sounds very arrogant, but turn down something like this, a $500 coaching opportunity. You probably only got to work with me for 1 month, and you have every single thing laid out and explained to you that you possibly could need to know about making your life better and improving it. You have all of the information given to you digitally, and then you have custom-made videos made for you as well. It's just foolish. I mean, I know everybody thinks that they know everything and they're the best, but I mean, if you can shortcut that whole process and just get 1 month of learning, I mean, why wouldn't you? The reason I do it like this is because I want something like this. I've never been able to have something like me, so I made me so I can help people the way I'd like to be helped myself. But anyways, I apologize. So just send me an email and I'll send that over to you, Jay Olawaka, or anybody else who wants one. But long story short, for your arms, it's forearm flexors, forearm extensors. You could use dumbbells, it's very easy. Biceps, curl, triceps extension, obviously front delt press, rear delt pull, lateral delt raise. Then you have your lat pull-in, you have your decline chest, you have your oblique crunch, your oblique twist, your back extension, your middle trapezius pull, your, upper trap shrug. Then we get your lower body, we got your psoas raise, your glute press, your adduction, leg abduction. Then your calf raise, your tibius or tibius anterior raise, you have your quads, leg extension, sissy squat, whatever. And hamstrings, you got your hamstring curl, lying hamstring curl, Nordic hamstring curl. I mean, there's lots of different things, my dear. If you don't know as well, everybody, I just put up an exercise library last week on my channel. At the moment, it has 56 of these exercises demonstrated for you. Each one's a 1-minute one with the flashcard going with it as well. I have about 30 or 40 more videos to put up, and then the exercise library is complete. So you guys can just, anytime you need, or you have a question about how to perform an exercise, pop on Coach Castle's YouTube, whatever, and just search my playlist, Coach Castle's Exercise Library. There you will see every single perfect exercise demonstrated the perfect way, so you can copy it too. You can do it at home, you can do it at the gym, body weight, dumbbell, or cable. They're all going to be covered for every body part. So that should be hopefully done by the end of the month, but don't hold me to it. Again, I'm very busy, guys. I apologize. Doing my best. After that, this playlist is complete, by the way, I'll be doing a breathing one as well. Something like 60 or 70 different breathing tools to help you. So check that out. Let's see here. Next. Are there benefits in complicating your exercises by balancing in compromised positions? For example, oh God, no. Dumbbell press and no. No, there's no benefit. Don't rant. Don't rant. Don't rant. Okay, so I'm not going to rant. Anytime you perform any exercise and your goal is muscle growth, health, or improvement in any way, you want to be as stable, as comfortable, and as focused as humanly possible. If you go to my exercise library, even though I'm filming myself, I can't help myself, even though it's only 1 minute of exercise, I'm very intently focused on performing these exercises perfectly. I'm extremely stable. You won't see me moving or wiggling. I basically, every time I perform an exercise, I look like an immobile statue, and only the levers and muscles which I want to move are moving. Everything else is rock solid, fixed in place. There is absolutely not a single benefit to doing any exercise in a compromised or imbalanced position. I'm not going to get too much into this because I'll just get mad, but suffice to say the reason trainers do this to you is because it is a sales tactic showing you how pathetic and weak you are. Because your body's in a compromised, rocky, unstable position, you'll not be able to move correctly, efficiently, push weight, nothing. So then they say, oh, see, you can't do it. You're very weak. We have to work on these 17 things which don't make any sense. These are sales tactics. Those damn balls have no function in the gym. They have no purpose. Those half balls have no purpose. Resistance bands have no purpose. Battle ropes, almost no purpose. I could see a couple. All of these gym gadgets, gizmos, they're all fucking bullshit. I mean, I'll leave it at that. You want to always be as stable and uncompromised as you're able to be. Example, the decline chest or tricep extension, you will never see me doing those on a bench. I won't do them on a decline bench. I do them standing upright or flat back against a bench with cables pointed downwards, because I'm in a natural position. There's no blood rushing to my face. It's not uncomfortable. My breathing pattern is not compromised, and I'm able to very stably push the weight. It is the most intelligent way to do it. Let's see here. Sorry about the hurricanes. Oh, I don't care. I actually enjoy the hurricanes. I know that's a horrible thing to say because so many people had so much lost and stuff. I had some pretty minor damage. I've been through 3 hurricanes so far, and every time I have a hurricane, I go for a nice long run in it. It's pretty fun because nobody's out with the hurricane except this time I saw a couple cops, and they were like, "What are you doing out here?" And I'm running. Like, "Why are you running?" I'm like, "Because it's a hurricane. It's nice. Nice windy day, and I'm not sweating." But I mean, seriously, how often you get to run in a hurricane? So, a little wet, doesn't hurt anybody. A couple sticks in my face. I got some some cuts on me and shit, but that's fine. It happens. Thoughts on hammer curls for forearms. Okay, long story short, I'll keep this real short. If you guys are doing biceps, you should do your bicep in the hammer curl position. End of story. I'll try not to elaborate too much, but suffice to say it is much safer, and you'll be growing your forearms and your biceps at the same time in a very safe and effective way. I'll just leave it at that. Plus, most dumbbells are so big it's hard to hold them in a supine position anyway. So, but yeah, you should always be doing hammer grips for your biceps, and yeah, hammer grips do in fact train your forearm as well. Not the best way to train your forearm, but yes, it does also train your forearm. Jay, oh, thank you very much. You're doing a great job. I actually really appreciate hearing that. You wouldn't believe some of the weeks I've had here. Zeizen forever. Oh, there you go. Hey, coach, just to clarify, if I'm working out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, then I should split the workouts into a third body per day, and then play sports the off days. Oh, okay. See, I thought you were doing 6 days a week, or you know what I mean, 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on. But if you're only doing just 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, everything I said previously holds. So just do your workouts. If you're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I assume you're doing more than a third of a split per day. So if you're able to clarify what your actual workout is, if it's more than a split per day. But again, just same exact thing, same situation, same everything holds. Don't train your forearms, use straps so you don't use your grip strength when you're doing that. It'll help a lot with your tennis performance. I don't know what you're doing for cardio or if the tennis is your cardio, but I would also urge you just to do regular old steady state cardio as well, just the days you don't do tennis. That's all the questions for the moment. So I'm going to cut this off in just a few minutes, guys, maybe 5 or 6 minutes. That's just because I have a lot to do. I'm very busy. Apologies, guys. These lives used to be a full hour, but I'm getting busier and busier as I go up in demand, basically. So sorry to be making excuses, but when I do have the time, I'll be doing full hour sessions of Coach Castle's Live. What I might start doing just to save time is I might just start doing the Coach Castle's Live while I'm on the treadmill, because I'm on the treadmill about an hour a day anyways. So if I do that, you guys can have my undivided focus for about an hour. I'm just not sure how it would work out on the treadmill, but I'll try that maybe next week. Thoughts on Mike Menser HIIT training? Yeah, I have a lot of videos on this. This is one of the things I talked about quite a bit. So Mike Menser, the HIIT training, ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time with it. Long story short, what he was proposing in a nutshell is that intensity is the only key to muscle growth. So provided you are generating more intensity and allowing the muscle proper recovery time, which by the way, he was perfectly spot on about frequency of training. The frequency of training I recommend now is almost what he was recommending back then. So he was actually ahead of his time on that. But as far as hypertrophy, he was wrong. So long story short, Mike Menser's way of training is extremely efficient. Yes, it is not the most efficient. The most efficient is the plan which I've already referenced a couple of times today, I think, and also I showed it to you in my book. But it's the frequency is very simple. You will be having a 3-day plan, arm day, essentially core day, essentially leg day, and then a day off. You repeat that. Every time that you're doing that, if it was Mike, he would have you do a single set with about 5 reps with maximum intensity, probably using rest pause training or infotonic training or omnicontraction training. Now, yes, highly effective, and I actually do recommend this to people who don't want to work out that much. And the reason for this is because you can work out 6 days a week, but your workout is like 15 minutes. You're in and you're out of the gym. It's super quick. But it is not the most productive. The most productive is not hitting it 5 reps, 1 set, maximally, etc., etc. The most productive is more volume, more sets, and stopping before failure. Mike would always have you go completely utter musculature failure, the concentric, the eccentric, the isometric in different positions, etc., all of these. He'd have you go to complete musculature failure. What you want to do is you want to stop 3 or 4 reps short of failure and then do something like 1 to 5 sets depending on what kind of a lifter you are and if you're enhanced or not. and then follow the schema I already laid out. That is the best way to do it. That at the moment, I apologize, at the moment, all of the latest science, to my knowledge, and to my knowledge I'm as up to date as anybody could possibly be, to my knowledge there are a large variety of things which actually result in hypertrophy effect. I'm making a video about it. It's just about done. I give it 3 or 4 more days. It's a very comprehensive video on what actually happens to the body and how muscles grow. It's not just intensity, and it's not just muscle fibers breaking. There is the sharing of nuclei, the splitting of nuclei, the splitting of muscle fiber bundles. There's a lot of different stimulus that result in this. So I'm going to be doing this animated video where I kind of put it all together for you guys. I highly encourage you to watch it. Again, as I always say, knowledge is power. And if you know and you understand why something happens and what happens if you don't, you have full confidence to move forward with your decision-making abilities. This is why I prioritize education above all else. Because, I mean, that old saying, you guys know the old saying, you can either give a man a fish or you can teach a man to fish. Well, I like to give you a fish, and while we're eating the fish, we talk about how to get fish, and then we practice together when we're full. That's the good way to do it. But anyways, guys, I think no more questions. I'm going to be signing off for today, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be back again next Sunday, and perhaps I'll be on the treadmill. I just uploaded a video talking about my new book and the hierarchy of diets and stuff. It's about 10 minutes, so check that one out. You should be able to see it as soon as you get off here, actually. And everyone, have a great Sunday. Stay on your grind. If I can help anybody, please email me. I'd be happy to give you any of my materials you'd like. If you'd like to support me, again, just please go to my Etsy store, spend $1, $5, $6, buy these digital tools for yourself, and support me. If I can ever give anybody any advice or help with coaching, you don't have to buy a month at a time or anything else. I also just do one-on-one video calls. It's just $40. You get me for an hour. You get to ask me whatever questions you want, and that's that. If you'd like a plan made for you, I do that. If you want just a meal plan, I mean, all of these things I do. I mean, but just reach out to me, guys. I'm always happy to help, but I'm getting busier and busier. So the more people I can help, the happier I am. Please remember to like, share, comment on all of my videos. If you go to my exercise library, please give it a thumbs up on the videos you like. Maybe write a comment if you need to see some other exercises. Again, anything you guys can do to help this channel grow is greatly appreciated, so I can start getting this live to more people, get my videos to more people, help more people, get the message to more people. Because, I mean, very narcissistically, I guess, but I think all the information I have to share is extremely important. I think everyone needs to hear it, especially how easy it is to apply. But you guys need to help me with that. So that's your part. Everybody have a great Sunday. I'll keep grinding, and I trust you all to do the same. Be good, everybody.